All right. What is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. Are you guys having difficulties finding trades in the market, right? You're using all of these indicators. Maybe your screen looks something like this. We're going to go over how you can do a simple trading strategy, a quick 5-minute scalp strategy using the 5-minute chart, using the opening range. All right. And we're going to break down all of that. So that way you don't need your charts to look like this with a million plus indicators on there, really just giving you guys a lot of noise and confusion about what trades you should be entering and exiting. So we're going to break that down. All right. In summary, what you want to do is establish the opening range. And then next, you want to determine your price targets. And number three is you're going to wait for a break and retest of the opening range. Number four, you want to manage your risk, of course, as always. And number five is going to be to take profit. So I'm going to show you guys how to do all of that and really just break down a quick scalp I made this morning before recording this video. All right, so that way you guys can try to do, use some of these strategies especially if you have been having difficulty or you're not finding the success that you're looking for. And I do want to mention, I started a completely free newsletter. All right. It's going to come straight to your email inbox, right? This is what it's going to look like, giving out free, valuable content related to, investing in the stock market, as well as other things such as bonds and commodities, even crypto. And there's also free trade ideas in there, right? This was one of them, Tesla. This was a few weeks ago. And you can see the Tesla chart played out very nicely after, the conditions that we went over. And if you trade options, some really profitable option trades, were available there based off of that trade. So if you guys want to sign up for that, there's a link in the description and the comment section down below. It's completely free to you guys and a good way to support the channel while also giving yourself some good investment intelligence. Now, I also started a Ko-Fi page here recently. You guys can come on here if you ever want to book a coaching session or a one-on-one personal session. You can do that directly through the Ko-Fi platform. You can also request YouTube videos. And if you ever enjoy the video and feel like leaving a tip or a donation, there is a tip feature where you can buy a coffee for Exactly Trades. Now, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into the video, all right? And we're going to head on over to our Thinkorswim platform. And we talked about, all of this noise on here, right? So what we want to do is we want to actually just remove all studies, okay? Let's just look at price action alone. Now, when we talk about opening range, what does that mean necessarily? Okay, well, being that we're on a 5-minute chart and the shaded area is the pre-market, so now we have our opening range. Okay, now once we, this is the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the market. Now, depending on who you are, some people will look at the first 30 minutes, some people will look at the first 15 minutes. I like to look at the first 15 minutes as the opening range, okay? Meaning that we're going to come in here and we're going to chart the highs and the lows, right? So we would throw a level up here for the opening range highs, right? And then for the opening range lows, the first three candlesticks here represent the first 15 minutes, and this was the opening range low. So now we have our opening range high, our opening range low, and we need to determine our price targets, okay? Now, in this particular case, we saw that price action was breaking down, and we want to know where we should take profit at. So we're actually going to go to the previous trading day, and we're just going to simply start charting some of the lows, right? And so, we can see that it was a pretty bearish day yesterday. All right, we had this nice significant drop. And so we see that there's a level right here. Okay, so we want to put a level here and we want to put a level here, two of the lows that we had in the prior trading day. We know that these are going to be areas where possibly buyers could step in. They stepped in here and pushed price higher. And then when it pulled back, buyers stepped in here and tried to push price higher again. So now we have, our profit targets where we want to profit. And now our trade is ready to go. Okay. And so what we're doing now is we're seeing that opening range low. And, you can try to scalp it as soon as you break down from there. Or what I like to do is I like to look for the retest. Okay. The break and the retest to have a little bit more confidence in the play. And so we can see that we start, chopping around, consolidating a little bit. And what do? We actually come back up here. And as this candle was developing, entered in right up here where it was at that level and it pushed up a little bit higher. So this is where managing risk comes into play. And so for me, I went ahead and I put a level here that was going to be my stop loss. Okay. We see that price consolidated right around these two levels. And, if we were able to get above it, right, we see we rejected it over here. If we were to get above it, it's very possible that we could have tested the opening range high. So I didn't want to be in the play if we start to close above 457 on Nvidia here, right? And so now, we got into our play here, and what did it do? You see, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so 3 candlesticks, all 5-minute candlesticks, we come down and we hit our price target here. So we entered here, we sold here. And if you trade options, or even if you don't trade options, these are very nice trades, right? You want to focus on consistency rather so much, your profits, right? And one thing that people do is they tend to trade their P&L and not the chart, right? And so what I mean by that is let's say you come in here and you see it start to drop and you go ahead and take profit, right? Because after a few minutes of entering the trade, you're already in profit. All right, well, we actually came down and we tagged the price level here and we tagged it here again. And so being that we want to trade the chart, we have our entry, we know where our stop loss is. And if you take a look, I mean, that's roughly like a 1-to-3, 1-to-4 ratio, right? When you look at the size of this compared to the size of this range, this is a good risk to reward ratio. And ultimately, price came down and tagged our level, our first take profit level here, and we go ahead and take some profits. You can either close the whole position or you can leave some of the position left in case we continue to drop lower. That's just part of managing your own risk. If you do decide to not sell the whole thing, I definitely recommend moving your stop loss and adjusting it so that way you don't lose profits, right? Because as you can see, the play is now reversing and Nvidia stock is now going higher. And if you entered here, you're actually underwater currently at the moment, right? And that's not what we want. We want to secure profits, right? Secure the bag and make sure we don't let those profits run away from us. Now, that's it for today's video. Just a very simple one, guys, using the opening range, using that to determine scalp opportunities on the 5-minute chart. You want to, preferably look for the break and retest of that overnight range or opening range high, opening range low. Okay. And then you want to trade the chart and take profit at your specific levels. All right. That's something that, I've been trying to do to just, make things a little bit simpler, right? Oftentimes people can make things very complicated, looking at dozens of different indicators, looking at what buy and sell signal, when really at the end of the day, price action is all you need at sometimes. And if there are other indicators that can help you out that you find useful, feel free to use those, but don't let them cloud your judgment and keep you from not, making nice profitable trades.